Lovers of the 80s Ferris Bueller's Day Off are in for a treat, as the creators of the Karate Kid spin-off series are creating a spin-off of that movie too. What will the movie cover? What pushed the creation of a spin-off? And why is a spin-off more important than a sequel? Keep watching as this video covers answers to these questions. Let's dive into it. First up, who are the creators of the movie? The creators of the upcoming spin-off are none other than John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and John Hughes, who developed the Karate Kid spin-off series. Cobra Kai artfully walked the line between originality and the perfect dose of nostalgia. Upon its release, it became the ultimate reboot of all reboots. The series didn't prey on the nostalgia of the Karate Kid fans, but gave them exactly what they needed. While still keeping the rich 80s vibe, the creators tried to build a whole new world appealing to the audience, and with the success of the series, they are venturing into another reboot. This time around, they are looking into creating a movie instead. So what will the movie cover? The Ferris Bueller's Day Off spin-off film is set to focus on two characters you might not even have paid much attention to in the movie. In fact, in the movie, the two characters were not named. Let's briefly brush through the movie to sharpen your memory. The titular character plays sick to get out of school and somehow convinces his hypochondriac, uptight friend Cameron to cut school too. Together they schemed, well, Ferris schemed. Cameron mostly just went in any direction his friend pushed him. They got Ferris's girlfriend Sloane out of school under the pretense of a dead grandmother. To perfect the ruse, they pick Sloane up, assuming the identity of her father using Cameron's dad's 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California Spider. After picking Sloane up, Ferris shocks Cameron by deciding to take the car for a ride in downtown Chicago with the promise that the car will be returned unscathed and with the original odometer mileage. At one point, the trio decides to leave the car with parking attendants, but the attendants go for a joyride in the car. They return the car unscathed to the three high schoolers, but the odometer had significantly gone up, getting Cameron really worried over the increased mileage. That's enough flashback. We know how the story plays out from then on. So the spin-off will be focused on the unnamed parking attendants that took the car out for a joyride. The attendants added a burst of excitement and anxiety to the movie, but we didn't really get to know them in the movie, which centered on Ferris and his friends. We didn't even get their names. However, all that is about to change in the upcoming spin-off. The creators named the two attendants Sam and Victor, and the movie is even named after them, Sam and Victor's Day Off. The side characters we saw just a glimpse of will be given more screen time and character development in the upcoming spin-off. What pushed the creation of the spin-off? The creators of the film didn't leave us hanging here and revealed why they actually ventured into reopening the world of the Ferris Bueller movie. They explained that they were not just interested in remaking something we've already seen, rather they intended to explore the world of the movie. Harold mentioned that it'd be similar to Cobra Kai in the sense that it'll be revisiting familiar scenes, but with a different perspective. So we know we're going back to that day in Chicago to get to know the side characters that weren't developed. We just got to see their faces and a glimpse of the ride in Cameron's dad's Ferrari. Other than that, we have absolutely no information about them. It really would be exciting to see their stories on that day. If their attempt to reboot the Ferris Bueller world via a spin-off works, we might be getting more visits to the worlds of our favorite movies of the 80s and the 90s. Who knows? That movie you didn't get enough of might be re-explored. Why is a spin-off more important than a sequel? Ferris Bueller's Day Off was one of the most enduring movies of the 80s, and after its success, fans clamored for a sequel, but after 4 decades, we're promised a spin-off instead. Is a spin-off really the best move for this movie? Well, in a number of ways, yes. In Ferris Bueller's movie, we got to see a bunch of high schoolers who live in the suburbs decide to take a day off to be free, and we kinda understand the intent behind that move. In the end, Cameron wasn't so uptight, and in some sense, he understood the lesson Ferris was trying to pass along. Uptight Cameron was able to confront his dad regarding not just the car, but how he was treated in general. It was a big improvement. This was the same dude who went into shock over an increased odometer mileage. A sequel might have explored more of Ferris's recklessness and how his recklessness ruins his life or Cameron's life. John Hughes, the creator of the original movie, and Matthew Broderick, the actor who played Ferris, both discussed possible ideas for a sequel, but none could hold a candle to the original movie. Repeating a similar getaway trip when the characters were in college or when on the job as adults wouldn't be the same as when they were in high school. The excitement and thrill would just be different, and it would be a huge disappointment to the original movie if it turned out to be a huge flop. Even Alan Ruck, the actor who portrayed Cameron, had his own hilarious take on a possible sequel. Ruck felt that it would be really funny to have Ferris break Cameron out of a nursing home to be adventurous, and in the end, Cameron dies. Honestly, it might be fun to see old and gray Cameron and Ferris go on a naughty adventure, but it still might not do the first film justice. Hence the wisdom to go back in time to explore the parts of the film we didn't get to see before. A sequel would be building up on the story we already know, and in the process of doing this, the creators might see the need to add extra content to the characters for better development. Doing this might seem wise, because we'd be getting to know more about the characters, but might not be the best for the classic and perfect escapist film. The film was impeccable. Why ruin something so good in the name of a sequel? And this is exactly why a spin-off would suit the movie better. The creators of the spin-off testified that they are not trying to tamper with or mess with a perfect storyline. Rather, they're trying to give us more adventures in the world of the Ferris Bueller film while still retaining the sanctity of the movie. The valets shown in the 80s film are the perfect opportunity to do this. Ferris and his friends had privilege, but what about the valets who didn't? They kind of appeared to be people with, lesser privilege. So we wonder, what pushed them to take the Ferrari on a ride? What was the motive? Their ride was fun indeed. That was very obvious in their huge smiles and excitement as they drove the car with a burst of energy. But what were they up to? They upped the mileage on the car by 100 miles plus, so they definitely went around more than we were shown. It just seems like it'll be more refreshing to press pause, turn back the wheels of time, and return back to that moment they received the car from the 3 high schoolers. However, this time around, we get to see things from their own perspective. Plus, the good thing is, we don't even have to get anxious about them crashing or totaling the car because we already know that they returned the car in perfect condition. Or did they scratch the car and repair it at the last minute? That might be possible, but given the price of that ride, it is doubtful. More reasons a sequel wouldn't be a good idea. Take a look at the character of Ferris. As much as he perfectly blurs the line between villain and hero, we really do know deep down that he's not of the best character. He constantly tries to manipulate his friend. Did he succeed in bringing Cameron out of his shell? Yes. Was it worth it? Well, in a way it was. It was an absolute delight to see Cameron speak up for himself. However, a sequel further exploring his character kind of spells doom for him and his friend Cameron. It might be hilarious at first, but it might get pretty sad later on because his manipulative side might catch up with him. The original movie solely focused on a bunch of high schoolers trying to live their lives to the fullest without any consequences. Sadly, that's not how the world works, and revisiting the characters as adults might not have a very nice ending, so why ruin a perfect wrap-up? And that marks the end of today's video. If you have a better argument on why a sequel would be still more fitting, slide into the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye!